The following is a presentation of the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.
With less than 2 weeks before the Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament, teams are jockeying for position. Fifth-ranked Duke is in a heated race for the top spot of the conference with Florida State and North Carolina, while Virginia Tech is looking for the big upset after coming off 4 straight games decided in the final seconds. It's the Hokies and the Blue Devils coming up from Cameron Indoor Stadium right now. A cold night is giving way to a glorious day in the Carolinas, and after an angry weather front came through, the sun shining brightly on Shesheskyville. Seth Greenberg is in town. We could play this one outside, but come on inside Cameron Indoor Stadium, because just 36 hours after beating Florida State, Duke plays host to the Hokies. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brand along with Corey Alexander. Glad to have you along. 2 weeks till tournament time. Duke still playing for that #1 seed.
Duke has a lot to play for, and Virginia Tech coming in, loving to play the spoiler role and seeing if they can get a big win here at Cameron Indoor.
Virginia Tech coming off a heartbreaking loss to Virginia, although Zoe Hudson's playing well.
Lorenzo Hudson has to be consistent for Virginia Tech to have success. Made big shots all year, game winners, but needs to have a consistent 40 minutes to give them an opportunity to win here at Cameron.
So the Food Line starting lineups, besides Hudson, you've got Green, Eddy, Raines, and Finney-Smith. A good starting lineup that is very, very athletic. On the other side, how about Andre Dawkins? He was on fire the other night.
Andre Dawkins lit it up at Florida State, 5 for 7 from 3, 22 total points, and he was the difference in them getting a win in Tallahassee.
Rest of the starting lineups, Thornton, Rivers, Curry, Kelly, Miles Plumlee. Mason Plumlee doesn't get the start for the first time this season. Virginia Tech hopes Eric Green can continue to be red hot. This crowd is red hot and ready for a game here in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The Hokies know this game will be about defense, stopping Duke's prolific guards, and keeping Rivers out of the flow. It's coming up next. Virginia Tech and Duke.
By your local Toyota dealers. By Food Line. By AT&T. And by Geico.
Established back in 1980, but it has been occupied almost that entire time. Shesheskyville staying packed as they gear up for the championship game, what essentially will be the championship game if both teams hold out. Duke and North Carolina here in a week from today.
Both of these teams playing for something extra special. Virginia Tech in that spoiler role has to come out and be able to defend the three-pointer. Duke shot a score from 13 to 28 in Tallahassee on Thursday night. And for Duke, they have to step up with some early energy. A quick turnaround, and they haven't played very well in the first half of games here in Cameron Indoor.
Those are your Ford keys to the game. The officials, Ray Natelli, Roger Ayers, and Brian O'Connell. We're underway. Duke will have it first. The Blue Devils ranked number 5 in the country, 24-4 record, 11-2 in the conference. Virginia Tech 15-13, only 4-9 in the conference. This is Rivers. Tyler Thornton's done a nice job at the point for Duke. Shot clock at 10. Crowd now counts it out. Rivers gets caught in the air. Curry with 2 on the shot clock, banks it in.
And Seth Curry bailed Duke out on that possession. A great defensive possession to start by Virginia Tech, and a great job running Seth Curry off the line. However, a crafty shot by the veteran Curry.
All eyes will be on the ball handler today, Eric Green. He's been the hot hand, averages 16 a game. He's going to have to get some scoring done here. This is Hudson inside, and the whistle. And this will go against Virginia Tech.
And Virginia Tech with the right idea. The backdoor cut is the only way to neutralize Duke's pressure on the wings. But Lorenzo Hudson going to have to get a better attempt at the basket than that.
Kelly kicks it out. Into the corner to Thornton. Bang.
When you talked about how well Tyler Thornton had been playing at the point guard position, not known for his scoring prowess, but his leadership. Coach K talked about how much he loved him as a leader, but stepping up, knocking down the early.
And Virginia Tech is on the board. Good strong move by Cedarian Raines. Been a strange season for Virginia Tech. A lot of injuries, a lot of young players. Seth Greenberg trying to get this team acclimated and has won. Played better the last 4 games, 2-2. Plumlee's shot is short, and the Hokies will run.
And that's what Virginia Tech wants to do. They want to see if they can get some transition baskets. They don't want to get in a running match with Duke, but from an offensive standpoint, they help themselves as a team if they're able to get easier shots in transition.
Eddie gives it back. Finney-Smith for 3, yes.
Seth Greenberg is proud of that. He's done a lot of work with Dorian Finney-Smith on his jump shot, and he's happy to see the rewards paying off for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Well, we've seen early on that Virginia Tech's not going to back off of the Blue Devils. Rivers from way outside. Bang!
If you want to talk about hot starts, Austin Rivers coming off, and he is not nowhere close to the three-point line. He's shooting those from 25 feet away. And when he starts making three-pointers, this Blue Devil team is very difficult to defend.
A lot of fans anxious to see how Duke responds 36 hours after playing a very physical, emotional game against Florida State. Oh, nice move inside and the foul. So Finney-Smith will go to the line. Foul on Plumlee.
And as you see Austin Rivers coming off the screen and roll, and the hedge by Cedarian Raines as he turns to run back, Austin Rivers sees that he's going to be open for a look. And the thing about Austin Rivers, he does not need to get close to the three-point line. His range extends 4 to 5 feet past it, and he's willing to pull up from anywhere.
Dorian Finney-Smith misses the first. He's a 65% free throw shooter. Finney-Smith had that double-double in his debut at Virginia Tech. 17 points against Boston College with 8 rebounds, but he misses both of these. And every shot at the free throw line today will be critical for Virginia Tech. Bucket will count. He'll go to the line for one more.
And you now see the truest benefit of Austin Rivers, not settling for the jump shot, but continuing to put the defense on their heels, putting pressure on the defense, getting to the rim, and finishing at the basket. And what he's done recently, more importantly than scoring himself, he's got his teammates involved. And now Virginia Tech knows that they're not helping, giving up three-pointers and giving Austin a lane to get to the rim.
So Eric Green picks up his first personal. Rivers converts the three-point play, and it's a 6-point lead. Talking with Mike Krzyzewski before the game, he was telling us he thinks Rivers has really stepped up the last couple of weeks.
He does, and the way that he's playing not only defensively, but the way that he's helping his teammates to score. He puts so much pressure on the defense, and his kickouts for 3 have become a staple in their offense.
Four for 5 is the way they started against Florida State Thursday night. Thornton hit 5 of his first 6 beyond the arc. Here's Eddie, knocks down a 3-ball.
Virginia Tech coming out shooting the ball very well from the beginning as well. And this court is a great place to shoot the basketball. Players love to come here and play in this environment. It's almost like a larger high school gym, a very intimate setting.
Shot clock at 13. Kelly bangs his way down and misses the shot. It looks like Plumlee stepped on the line. So 15:59 to play in the first half. Duke 11, Virginia Tech 8. Cameron Indoor Stadium always brings out the emotion in everybody. It's also one of those spots where you just get comfortable and love to sit back to watch basketball.
And as a player, you come in and you look forward to seeing what the Cameron Crazies come up with and what they're going to talk about during the game, especially when you go to free throw line.
Seth Greenberg in his 9th year at Virginia Tech. Seth has won 169 games while in Blacksburg. Love to get one here today. Mason Plumlee in the ball game. Also get our first look at Josh Hairston. Green off balance, tough shot. Finney-Smith gets it back and out to Hudson. Shot clock at 3. They've got a new 35. So Eddie will take it out and reset. This is for 3. Still a 3-point game as we go under 15 minutes to play in the first half. So Seth Greenberg and the officials stopped the game. Seth alluded to the fact that there was some blood. So you see Hairston has a little bit of blood on him, and if that happens, you got to get him out of the game, get it corrected, get it covered up.
If you're Josh Harrison, you're wondering where the foul was. If there's blood, there has to be a foul, correct? And that had something to do with the fact that Virginia Tech got 2 offensive rebounds on the last possession, and Josh Harrison was involved in the mix, and that may have had something to do why they were able to come up with those.
Welcome to big boy ball. Time to man up. You're in Cameron Indoor. Curry down the left side. Back outside. Shot clock at 7. Duke has been using every bit of it. This is for 3. And again, they used every bit of the shot clock, but this time Duke comes away empty.
Duke has been patient, and a lot of that has to do with Virginia Tech's defense. They've done a great job forcing Duke players off the line and not giving them any easy looks.
Good look here. The foul, the bucket will count. Good, strong move inside by Cedarian Raines.
Seth Greenberg has raved about how Cedarian Raines has really been stepping up his play in the absence of Victor Davila. And with the middle wide open, Cedarian Raines going to the rim. Seth Curry is definitely at a disadvantage trying to take that ball away from a strong Cedarian Raines.
So that's Curry's first personal. Raines goes to the line. He's only a 54% free throw shooter. He's got 4 points today. Make it 5. And it's tied. Hairston says he needs some work. So he heads to the locker room. Inside to Plumlee. Take it away.
Mason Plumlee not getting the start today, and his production has been down over the last several games, but his brother Miles has stepped it up and stepped into the starting lineup. But Coach K knows production from Mason Plumlee is going to be integral as they enter the end of the season.
Finney Smith having a nice first half. He's got the steal, couple buckets. This is Curry. Boy, Green thought he had it. It was just taken away by Plumlee.
You see the attention being paid to Andre Dawkins. Robert Brown, no help, not giving him any clean looks at the basket, especially what he's done here recently shooting 3 ball.
Inside Plumlee.
The reason you get that is because the attention paid to all the shooters for Duke, and they can't cover everyone. And Mason Plumlee getting a run at the rim, a good pass by Ryan Kelly. Mason almost, he didn't get his normal lift on that one, but was still able to finish the shot.
Finney Smith takes the baseline and loses it on the way. So the ball will belong to Virginia Tech. Last touch by Dawkins. ACC basketball brought to you in part by Great Clips. Had some great clips here early in this ball game.
And Virginia Tech understanding the game plan. One of the things you have to do to be successful against Duke, you have to be able to make individual plays. You've got to go out and be able to beat one guy man to man and be able to score, because Duke will take away what you want to do offensively.
Shot clock at 5. Virginia Tech's got to recognize it. This is for 3. The push off, no bucket. The foul is on Brown.
Great defense by Andre Dawkins, understanding that Brown was going to try to beat him because he didn't have much time on the shot clock, getting his body in position to be able to receive the offensive foul.
So that's the first turnover of the afternoon for the Hokies. Who's this pace good for? Low-scoring first half.
It's much better for Virginia Tech because what they don't want is to give Duke opportunities in transition, especially to pull up threes in transition by Andre Dawkins. So the lower the score, the better chance Virginia Tech has to be successful in this game.
Plumlee is fouled. The foul is on Barksdale. That's his first personal. Seth will get some lobbying done there with the officials. Again, the officials today, Ray Natilli, Roger Ayers, and Brian O'Connell. Outstanding officiating crew. You need to be when you come in here.
No question about it, because you're going to receive pressure from both these coaches as well as a huge crowd, and a knowledgeable crowd as well.
And that crowd puts you right under the microscope. Kelly has to go way back out front with it. Austin Rivers, Dawkins, and Dawkins is charged with the offensive foul. So for Dawkins, that's the push-off. He gets the personal. It's a beautiful day in Durham, North Carolina, as you look at the chapel here on campus. Good ball game, 2 points. Tim Brandt and Corey Alexander with us. Take a look at the AT&T Fast Analysis, Corey.
And our fast analysis is going to be backcourt points. And for Duke, Seth Curry and Austin Rivers already combined for 11 points early in this one. Virginia Tech only 3 points, and that's going to be key because the biggest scorers in this game are all in the backcourt. And when you think about it, Eric Green still scoreless early into this ball game. Virginia Tech's going to have to get him involved for them to be successful.
Miles Plumlee, Ryan Kelly, Rivers, Curry, Thornton. That's your Duke lineup right now on the floor against Virginia Tech. 11:50 to play in the first half. 13-11 Duke. This is Robert Brown. Nice backdoor cut. The drop pass in the bucket.
C.J. Barksdale doing a great job maneuvering on the block, and he doesn't out-jump guys, so he uses his body very well and finds angles and got to the open spot, was able to score 2 points to help Virginia Tech tie this ball game.
Barksdale got his first career start at Boston College. He's been playing well. Seth Greenberg telling us before the game his minutes have increased.
And his production, of course, without Victor Dobler, they're going to need even more production until they can get Dobler back healthy.
And he gets the roll.
And you talked about the pace. Virginia Tech is slowing Duke down. They're not giving them anything in transition and making them use a lot of their shot clock in order to get a good shot.
Virginia Tech's got its first lead of the afternoon. Duke turns it over. Turnover number 4 for the Blue Devils. That'll get Andre Dawkins a seat on the bench.
Actually, Andre thought he was coming out.
He did, didn't he? He walked all the way over there.
He thought the turnover got him the hook, but it was actually Tyler Thornton coming out. Coach Gashesi trying to get some offense on his team.
Curry comes down with a rebound, and Duke looks to push it, and then good defense by Virginia Tech slows it down. So Curry now tries to find the left side and gets fouled. Foul will be on Marquise Rankin. That'll be his first. Team foul number 4. Last Duke basket came at 13:37 or 13:17. So it's a little bit of a drought here for the Blue Devils, and they've been using a lot of the shot clock. Plumlee loses it on the way up, knocked out of bounds by Rankin.
Mason Plumlee trying to be aggressive, getting to the rim. Jarrell Eddy doing a great job, continuing to compete and getting a hand on the basketball, but before it back to Duke. And Duke really has to find a way to get the momentum of this game changed. They're not a team that scores, so they average 80 points a game. They need to find a way to get it moving faster.
So the Cook gives it back to Rivers, and we'll see what Rivers does here a little bit. Kicks it back out to Cook. Boy, Rivers has great range, though, doesn't he?
He really does, and he's progressed so much as a player. The last possession, getting to the rim, but not picking up the charge and trying to challenge the teammates, kicking out to Quinn Cook. And that's the reason Cook is in the game, is because he's able to knock those shots down.
How about the crossover by Rivers, and he missed the layup. Oh, he hit his head in frustration. Just can't believe he got that close and didn't finish.
One of the things that we really need to watch at this point for Duke, and when you see plays like that, you have to question the player's legs. We talked about the 36-hour turnaround, and you haven't seen Austin Rivers miss easy shots like that all year.
Raines wasn't ready for the ball. Now with a jump hook. Didn't even look like he wanted to take that shot. This is a long drought for Duke to go without a bucket. Trailing by 2. Last touch by Plumlee, I believe. No, they're going to give it to Duke.
You see Austin Rivers at the top of the key, an unbelievable move, a crossover to get to the rim, but there's very little lift, and you have to question. Austin Rivers played a lot of minutes in Tallahassee on Thursday night. You have to question whether these Duke players have enough legs, and you see Coach K going to his bench early, getting Quinn Cook in the game and trying to find some energy.
Here's Cook. Has it blocked. Curry to the bucket again. This time he finishes.
Seth Curry has become much more than just a shooter. He's done a great job attacking the basket all year and really has been their second consistent scorer behind Austin Rivers.
So he saw what Rivers did. This time he went strong to the rack. Tied at 15. Hudson, tough shot. Step back, Rivers, yes.
He found some legs on that one, and that's how Duke wants to play. They want to be able to get down, up and down a little more in transition. Virginia Tech has done a great job in holding them, making them play half-court basketball, but Austin Rivers starting to pick it up.
Rivers with 8 points, and it's a 2-point Duke lead. Seth Greenberg wants a 30-second timeout. The official ACC mobile apps presented by Haviland and Outback Steakhouse are available for your Android, iPhone, and iPad devices. Watch live ACC Network men's basketball games and daily video feeds. Visit theacc.com/apps to download today. Atlantic Coast Conference rolling rapidly now toward tournament time. Duke, North Carolina, headed toward that showdown once again. Final game of the season, and it will be for the #1 seed.
Yeah, they both have to take care of business to get to there. And North Carolina with the big game in Charlottesville today. And you want to talk about big games. Austin Rivers has had a number of them, especially since the ACC season started. Started the season very inconsistent, up and down, even times where Coach K wasn't playing him much at the end of the games because of his defensive lack of intensity, but he has truly picked it up right now. Definitely one of the better players in the ACC, not just a freshman.
Austin Rivers with 8 points here today. And it's a 2-point lead by the Blue Devils. Green has been very quiet here in the first half for Virginia Tech. Here he is. Air ball. Follow shot, foul. Finney-Smith will go to the line. Again, the Hokies have to perform at the charity stripe to try to tie this game. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Today we're in Cameron Indoor. Always fun. Here's a look at Del Curry. Great player in his day, watching Seth, the Krzyzewski family. Bucky Waters, one of the all-time great Duke folks, and Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe, if you didn't know this, his character on West Wing, Sam Seymour, went to Duke.
Rob Lowe got a little favoring characteristics of our guy Bob Reichley back in the trunk. A pretty good looking guy. What do you think?
I think you're crossing the line there, brother. Duke only 4 points in the last 5.5 minutes, but still leads. Rob Reichley, one of the great producers in college basketball, along with Johnny Tyus today and the great Raycom crew here today. Got John Madry keeping the numbers for us. That's always a treat. Shot clock again is down to 7. to Plumlee. This is way too easy, and then it's blocked. Boy, he was down there all alone. The pass came in late. Raines blocked his hat. That's going to be a block on the way up. Another one by Plumlee, who didn't take kindly to having his blocked. Cook, kick it out. Cook off balance is fouled.
The great pass by Quinn Cook gets Mason Plumlee an opportunity at the rim. It's blocked, and Mason Plumlee, as you said, did not like that. Hustling down the floor, coming up with not one, but two big blocks on the possession against Dorian Finney-Smith and Virginia Tech.
So Cook goes to the line. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Just a freshman out of Bowie, Maryland, makes the first. Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Right now it's Cook time. Quinn Cook went to DeMatha High School in Hyattsville, then Oak Hill Academy. Battled with that sore knee over time, and it slowed him down a little bit.
He had a bad injury at Oak Hill before the season. It didn't really have his legs under him, and really starting to just get his opportunities back to be able to play at full speed here at Duke.
So Virginia Tech, in a little bit of a drought by itself, has missed its last 7 shots. Here's Brown. Back to Raines, and Raines is fouled.
So Darian Raines has really done a good job attacking the basket for Virginia Tech and not settling for jump shots on the perimeter, but trying to get to the rim. And now it's about stepping up and knocking down free throws. If you're not going to make shots, you have to be proficient at the free throw line.
Foul is on Tyler Thornton. That's his first. Raines at the line, a 54% free throw shooter. Had that surgery in his broken foot. They actually had to shock it to get the blood flow. So he's been through some tough times himself. But right now, Virginia Tech at the free throw line has been terrible. They're just 1 for 6.
And they started the season shooting free throws very well, but had a collapse recently in a game where they basically lost because they were unable to be able to knock down free throws in the end of a game that they had under control.
And they finally get the roll. So he has 6 points. And it's a 3-point game. Curry draws iron, long rebound. Virginia Tech gets it back.
Virginia Tech has done a great job early in this game, really keeping Seth Curry and Austin Rivers out of good looks. They've taken some threes, but they have not been the necessarily looks that they want to get, the ones where they're in rhythm. They've sped them up a little bit on the perimeter.
Brown in the lane. Boy, they've really struggled with their free throw shooting and their field goal shooting in the last 8 minutes. 3 ball.
And Tyler
Thornton hits his second one of the game.
And he's wide open because the attention paid to Austin Rivers, and Austin Rivers doing a great job attacking the basket and finding his shooters on the perimeter.
Hokies have to find the range. In a bad slump here. And a walk. The ACC has announced the 2012 Legends class to be honored at the ACC tournament in Atlanta with the annual Legends Brunch. Great names include Virginia Tech's Dale Solomon and Kenny Denard from Duke. For more information on all the ACC legends and how to meet them at this year's tournament, just log on to theacc.com, folks. It really is a great time. The Legends Brunch, one of the highlights of the ACC tournament. Boy, if you've got a chance to be there, it's worth it. Rivers is fouled. Foul is called on Marquise Rankin. That's his second.
And one of the things that Virginia Tech can depend on is that Austin Rivers is going to stay in attack mode the entire game. And Duke does a great job using him in pick and rolls and giving him the whole floor, the opening of the floor. And you see what happens when you congest the lane. He's kicking it out to getting shooters opportunities. And when you don't, he's getting to the free throw line and scoring.
Coming up, NC State and Clemson, and Maryland at Georgia Tech. Maryland, we saw, won a Very tight contested ball game against Miami the other night.
And Maryland is a team that's been up and down. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Terrell Stoglin can score at any given moment. Some of his shots may not necessarily be the best shots, but he can get hot at any time, and he can keep them in games.
Virginia Tech led 15-13 since then. Duke is on a 10-1 run. Eric Green still looking for his first basket of the game. Here he is from beyond the arc. He's way off. 0 for 4. Rivers kicks it out. Dawkins. Plumlee. Mason kicks it out. Virginia Tech comes up with it, and Tech's got numbers. This is Green. Stop, pop, can't get it. Green is stone cold. And right now the Hokies are out of sync. Running one-hander is good.
That's a big shot by Lorenzo Hudson to get them back into some type of offensive flow, because they were really struggling, as you mentioned.
Zoe Hudson's first basket. Green still looking for his.
And I can tell you that Coach Krzyzewski was not happy about the effort that Andre Dawkins made going after that loose ball, and the reason that he wanted to talk to his team after that. He already had someone up off the bench in order to sub in for him. Did not like the effort at all.
Fans need to see what's happening in the ACC. Havlin brings you highlights from every ACC basketball game. Visit theaccdn.com, the official ACC mobile app, for the latest highlights and video. Here at Cameron Indoor Stadium, 4:09 to play in the first half, and Eric Green really struggling. 0 for 4 from the field.
And Eric Green struggling because Duke is paying extra special attention to him. They know that he is the one guy that can really get them going offensively. Tyler Thornton doing a good job on him early.
Green, 24 straight double-figure games, longest in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but that is in jeopardy now. 3:45 to play in the first half. He's looking for his first basket. This is another Virginia Tech turnover. That's 3. So they've given it away 3 times. They trail by 5. 3:44 to play in the first half. We're at Duke on a glorious day in the Carolinas. They always enjoy basketball here in Cameron Indoor Stadium, and they are enjoying it here this afternoon. The Cameron Crazies. Hey, look at the women's standings in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Duke got the #1 seed, Miami right behind them. Maryland packed the house the other night in Comcast Center, 15,000.
And that's not surprising. Maryland does that with anything. What you talk about for the passionate fans in the ACC.
And Duke win over Miami was big, and the tournament starts this Thursday as the women get ready for the ACC tournament and beyond. Down into the corner for 3, and Hudson has the rebound.
That's Thornton's first miss. He was 2 for 2 from 3, now 2 for 3. But Curry and Dawkins both 0 for 4 right now from three-point land, and so basically Tyler Thornton has been their offense behind the arc.
Eric Green with the ball averages 16 points a game, has yet to score. Shot clock at 10. Green, spin move, kicks it out. Finney-Smith from beyond the arc, no sir. That's the 3rd air ball by Virginia Tech in the first half.
One of the things that coaches Jeff Capel and Chris Collins both talked about is when Duke doesn't shoot the basketball well, they struggle defensively, but they haven't had a high-scoring first half, but they've done the job defensively on Virginia Tech.
Plumlee walked. He doesn't like the call. But that's 6 turnovers in the first half for Duke, which goes right to what you're talking about.
It's that energy and that concentration. And we talk about the turnaround, 36 hours, but also the flight from Florida State. And then yesterday, I'm sure they didn't get an opportunity to do much with the early game. And Coach K talked about the schedule. And most of the teams they played this year have had much more time to prepare for them than they've had to prepare. So this was going to be a challenge for them, and he knew that coming into this game.
Talking to Mike Krzyzewski before the game, he was talking about the talents of Green and how he'd get a lot of extra attention. That's an offensive foul, but had the ball left his hands, no bucket. It does count. Player control foul does count.
And Lorenzo Hudson coming off the screen and understanding when you play against Duke, one of the principles of their defense is to make sure that they're there laying for those charges. They're not going to give you free runs to the basket.
That's a good call, too. It was out of his hand. So over the limit now.
This is going to be important for Duke, getting to the free throw line and getting some points there, because their shooting percentage hasn't been great, only shooting 35% from the field so far in this first half. And these are the type of struggles they've seen here, which is uncharacteristic of them in Cameron Indoor.
Ryan Kelly, the 6'11 junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, makes the first. He's an 80% free throw shooter, averages 12.5 rebounds a game. Streaky shooter. He's been getting a lot of time, and he misses the second. I'm starting to buy into your tired legs.
Yeah, you can see it. They came out, knocked down a couple threes early, but even still, you see that energy that they normally play with it really isn't there, and I think that turnaround has a lot to do with it.
Virginia Tech has to feel pretty good about the fact that they're only 4 down with 2 minutes to play in the first half and shooting as poorly as they have.
And their best player, Eric Green, still scoreless. So when you look at all those things combined, if you're Virginia Tech, you go into halftime with the game similar to this, you have to be happy about it and like your chances coming out in the second half.
Miles Plumlee knocked it out of bounds, so Hudson will bring it in. Finney Smith looks at the shot, steps under it, and makes the bucket.
Nice play by Dorian Finney-Smith. Understanding the aggressiveness of Ryan Kelly, he was going to try to block the shot, the up and under, and more importantly, staying under control and able to finish the shot.
Finney Smith now with 5 points, and it's a 2-point game. Kelly's going to try to back in. And does successfully. It was a mismatch over Hudson.
And a great job by Ryan Kelly recognizing that. Ryan Kelly, not much of a back-to-the-basket player, more of a shooter, but a tremendous size advantage over Lorenzo Hudson, and using that in order to get 2 points for his teammates.
Green getting a little frustrated now. Too much ball handling. Seth Greenberg yells for him to move. Shot clock at 8. Finney Smith looks at his shot, takes it to the rack. Nice pass, bucket. Boy, Raines was wide open on the other side waiting.
And a lot of that had to do with Miles Plumlee coming over, attempting to take the charge, and Dorian Finney-Smith doing a great job controlling his body and finding an open Raines.
Raines with 8 points in the first half. Duke turns it over again. 7 turnovers in the first half. Reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll have analysis, highlights, stats, and a whole lot more. That's all coming up on the Hardy's Halftime Report. 33.2 seconds remain in the first half. Shot clock is off.
And Virginia Tech with an opportunity to go into the halftime tie, or even with the lead if they're able to knock down the three-pointer. They want to make sure they get the last shot of the half and not give Duke an opportunity to get the ball back.
Surprised they've got Finney Smith doing the ball handling. Now they get it to Green. Down to 7 seconds. Green down the lane, lost the handle. And Duke will get it back with 2 seconds left. Thornton, nope. Virginia Tech closes the half on an 8-3 run. It's a 2-point game.
And it's going to be interesting to see if Duke can come with one of their patented runs in the second half, getting the crowd involved in it and try to force the tempo of this game, because right now Virginia Tech is definitely controlling the tempo.
But the way the Hokies have played here in the first half, they'll take it. Seth Greenberg gets a chance to go into halftime and make some adjustments. We'll be back.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Gatorade, by your local Toyota dealers, by Haviland, and by Geico. Geico presents the Play of the Week. With Virginia Tech down by 2 with 3.5 seconds remaining in overtime, Virginia Tech's Jarrell Eddy caught the ball in the corner, but Eddy passed out of the double team and found Dorenzo Hudson, who launched the game-winning shot for the Hokies as they beat Georgia Tech 74-73. Dorenzo Hudson's clutch three-pointer is Geico's Play of the Week.
Hardee's presents the Hardee's Halftime Report. Hand-breaded buffalo chicken tenders now available at Hardee's. And that's just the way it is. Interesting first half. It's a 2-point game between the Blue Devils and the Hokies of Virginia Tech, but it was a game that was a little bit uneven, little spurts, gets and goes. Both teams went through droughts. The largest lead was 7 by Duke, but they never even threatened to run away with it. How did you see it?
Well, Virginia Tech truly controlled the tempo, and this is the way they want to play Duke. They don't want to give Duke opportunities to get points in transition, especially shooting the threes. And Seth Greenberg has to be happy with his team in the pace, but I feel as though Duke will come out with much more energy in the second half.
Well, what do you tell your team if you are Seth Greenberg? You've got to feel pretty good that you went almost 8 minutes without a bucket and you're still in a 2-point game.
Well, what you have to tell them is you need more of the same, making sure you take away the easy looks from three-point perimeter for Duke and not giving them opportunities to get up and down the floor. They've done a great job in their half-court defense, and they can guard them there. It's just the transition where they can't guard them.
One of the great things about this league is the fan vote, and ACC fans now, it's your chance to vote alongside the experts for your first team All-ACC. All you have to do is log on to theacc.com and select your choices in the new ACC fan vote. Now, you could win prizes just for voting. The fan vote team will be announced on Sunday of the ACC tournament. During the ACC network coverage, I'll announce it for you. Visit theacc.com or visit us on the ACC on Facebook to vote. How about your team? If you look at this right now, Corey, who do you have on the first team? Is this it?
This is my team right here. Of course, the senior Mike Scott, who's had an unbelievable year at the University of Virginia. Both Harrison Barnes and Tyler Zeller at North Carolina. Michael Snare, who has been big shot Michael Snare. And the freshman Austin Rivers, who I believe is the best individual player in the ACC.
First time that I've seen your team, your vote here. Now, I had Mike Scott as the player of the year for most of 3/4 of the season. Is he still there, you think?
I believe it comes down to the last 3 games. If Virginia can get a win against Florida State or North Carolina at home, I believe Mike Scott is the player of the year. If not, and North Carolina goes on to finish this out as the regular season championship, I think they split it between Harrison Barnes and Tyler Zeller as ACC Player of the Year.
It's hard to argue that anybody's done more for the value of their team than Mike Scott has at Virginia. Take a look at the Nissan scoreboard. We'll update you on some of the games. Some of the games coming up, of course, Boston College and Wake Forest, NC State and Clemson. NC State still of hopes of an NCAA berth. Maryland, Georgia Tech later today as Maryland grows up, coming off that win over Miami the other night. North Carolina, Virginia, huge game there. Of course, North Carolina trying to keep that #1 seed and stay where they are until they play Duke.
And that Duke's win at Florida State put them in the driver's seat to bring the game here to win the ACC championship.
Vanderbilt has Kentucky down by 2. Huge surprise there. How about Notre Dame? Trailing by 6 here, but the Irish have been on a tear.
And the luck of the Irish has been running rampant throughout Big East season, and it'll be interesting to see how that one ends up.
I don't know about the luck, but I can tell you Mike Bray's got the Irish playing extremely well. We're at halftime. The FM Arco team is performing here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. It's a 2-point game. We'll be back with more halftime right after this. Raycom Sports and the ACC have unlocked their archives with over 150 basketball games, and all can be seen for free at theacc.com. Check out Virginia Tech's win over 4th-ranked North Carolina in 2007. Remember it? Xavier Dowdell led the Hokies with 33. Ron Washington blocked Ty Lawson's shot in the final seconds, and Tech won 81-80 in overtime. So relive and share your favorite ACC moments at theacc.com/vault. We're at halftime, 2-point game, 26-24 Duke. Interesting in that the game really did have some spurts and some stops, and Virginia Tech went 8 minutes without a field goal in that first half. The largest lead was by Duke. They led by 7, but you never had the feeling that they were going to run away with the first half of this game and open it up and break it open. Take a look at the Toyota standings. We'll update you as we head toward tournament time, which is taking place around the league. North Carolina and Duke trying to get that #1 seed in the tournament. Right now, everybody says that there are at least 3 teams in. North Carolina, Duke, and Florida State will all be in the big dance. So they've got their cards, save the date. Meanwhile, Virginia is trying to get there. They're 8-5 in the conference, 21-6 overall. Have they done enough to get in. Right now, strongly on the bubble. The same with NC State, although NC State has to make a pretty good run. And Miami, Jim Laranaga's team, has come on strongly in the second half of the season. But have they done enough? That loss at Maryland was a tough loss this past week. Stadium over there at Durham Bulls. It's almost that time, but let's finish basketball before we take you out to the baseball park. They always say when you're tired, share the load. Duke playing 36 hours after that tough game against Florida State. Already has 6 guys who have scored here today, so they are sharing the load. Meanwhile, for Virginia Tech, Eric Green, their leading scorer, 16 points a game, has yet to score a bucket.
Eric Green really has to bring his game to the table in the second half for Virginia Tech to have any success, because they need someone who can break down Duke's defense individually.
Take a look at the highlights. Eric Green, 24 straight games in double figures. Zippo here today.
But Austin Rivers came out to a hot start, knocking down the big three and showing all facets of his game, getting to the basket, but also sharing the ball with his teammates. Tyler Thornton stepping up, making 2 big threes in the first half.
Tyler Thornton's made a big difference at the point.
He really has. And for Virginia Tech, they shot the ball well early. Jarrell Eddy and Dorian Finney-Smith getting involved in the offense. And, of course, Darian Raines stepping up big in the absence of Victor Davila.
Corey, take a look at the first half stats.
Well, when you see both of the shooting percentages are not very good, but that favors Virginia Tech because they're keeping Duke off of the three-point line. Only 3 for 10 in the first half, 30%, and Duke is a much better three-point shooting team than that.
Cameron Crazy's ready for the second half. We'll have the final 20 right after this.
ACC basketball is brought to you by Hyundai, by Hardee's, and by your Carolina Ford dealers.
An ACC Saturday in Durham, North Carolina. Virginia Tech trailing by 2 in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Eric Green, the story of the day. He's got the longest double-figure scoring streak in the ACC, scoreless here today.
And Tyler Thornton has taken personal exception to Eric Green coming into his house and done a great job defensively, limiting Green's opportunities and hounding him every time he's had the basketball.
He's 0 for 6, and the streak is on the line. He averages 16 a game with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Key now, I would think, would be just to stay in the rhythm of the game and not get frustrated. Here he is.
And Green has to take good shots, not worry about pressuring his scoring, because his scoring will come as long as he's able to continue to involve his teammates.
Needs help. Almost got a 5-second call. It's rare that you see him pick up his dribble like that. It's just a little bit out of sorts today. Shot clock is down to 11. This one off the foot of Seth Curry, so Virginia Tech will have it with 11 on the shot clock. Correction, 15 on the shot clock. They put some time back on it.
The kick ball reset it to 15. Otherwise, they would have had it much lower.
Finney-Smith's shot is off the iron. Big rebound pulled by Rivers. Stop. And had a good look.
He had a great look.
Just pinched it a little bit.
Yeah, Virginia Tech forgot all about Austin Rivers coming down in transition. No one picked up the basketball. Very fortunate they didn't come away with 3 points.
Green's running one-hander, and he's on the board. His first bucket.
That starts Eric Green's confidence, and he went into halftime, I'm sure, knowing that he had to be better for his teammates in the second half and coming out looking aggressive to start it off.
0 for 6 first half, 1 for 1 in the second half. Here's Curry down the lane, is fouled. Tied at 26. Coming up, NC State at Clemson, or some of you will see Maryland at Georgia Tech. That's coming up after this game. Foul was on Dorenzo Hudson. That's his second.
The NC State Clemson game, and of course for North Carolina State, every game becomes of tremendous importance at this point in the season. Still having a chance to get in the NCAA tournament, but they need wins, and they need wins in a hurry. They also lost 2 in a row, so they got to make sure they're able to go to Clemson and give it their best effort.
Seth Curry now with 5 points is an 88% free throw shooter, one of the best in the conference. He had 7 points, 2 assists Thursday night in Tallahassee. He's now made 18 consecutive free throws. Duke by 2. Green looks up at the clock, calls out the offensive set. Nice crossover, running one-hander is an air ball, partially blocked.
And Thornton made that very difficult. When you watch Virginia Tech's offense, you have to look at the fact that Eric Green is initiating the offense 40 feet away from the basket.
Rivers. Oh, Green was all alone at the other end, and they couldn't get it to him. And Finney Smith is fouled by Plumlee.
But a lot of that has to do with the effort by Tyler Thornton, seeing a loose ball, getting on the floor after it. That's why Virginia Tech was unable to pick the basketball up and pitch it ahead to Eric Green. So you have to credit, and although they come away with the foul, you credit Tyler Thornton with.
Thornton doing a great job on Green. Here's Hudson. Bang.
That's Lorenzo Hudson's game. He is great coming off screens, coming off curls, and knocking down jump shots. And they need to see more of that from Lorenzo Hudson because that would loosen the pressure on his other teammates.
We're tied at 28. Duke led by 7 in that first half. Whistle away from the ball.
You see Lorenzo Hudson runs a long way for this shot, but when you don't step up, as Miles Plumlee doesn't step up and show on that screen, Lorenzo Hudson will be open every time coming off there. And with his size advantage over Seth Curry, he can get that shot off.
But the foul was on Hudson, and that's his third. Thornton comes up with a rebound, gets it out to Rivers. Curry kicks it back out. Thornton's shot is short. Hokies with a chance to take the lead. Offensive foul on Hudson.
And you talk about winning plays and understanding the game of basketball. The fourth foul of Lorenzo Hudson, and simply by Tyler Thornton using his head, getting in a position to take an offensive foul and getting one of Virginia Tech's best players out of the game.
That is huge. 4 personals now on Hudson. And so the fifth-year senior in serious trouble has to sit down. Curry. Back door was open.
And a great job by Duke clearing out the backside, not allowing anyone to be there to help. And Seth Curry's ability to shoot the basketball is really what required the attention at the top, giving him a lane right for the back door.
With Hudson on the bench, somebody's got to pick up the scoring. Here's Raines, walked.
You see Seth Curry and his ability to be able to shoot is what has Eric Green on his top side, not wanting to give up a three-pointer. With no one protecting the basket, Tyler Thornton leaves him in the perfect position to get an easy layup.
Curry again with penetration, off balance, and throws it away. Got caught down in there and had nowhere to go. Throwing it to a spot where he thought a teammate would be.
He thought Tyler Thornton would be there. Tyler Thornton had actually rotated back on defense after the shot went up.
Left alone, Finney Smith off balance. He's fouled. The foul will be on Miles Plumlee. Going to the line again to try to tie this game with 15:55 to play. Duke averages 25 points a game off the bench. Today they only have 4. And you see it's a 2-point game. Let's take a look at our Hyundai trip around the Atlantic Coast Conference. Tied at 5. NC State and Clemson later, and Maryland and Georgia Tech. Even the lower tier teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, though, playing for the seeding in the tournament.
They really are. And when you look at that, you're trying to avoid playing that biggest game on that Thursday, and having to go out and try to win 4 games is a very tough task. So everyone wants the best seed they possibly can have.
Finney Smith continues to struggle at the line. He's now 0 for 5. They trail 2, and he's missed 5 free throws. 6.
And when you look at this, if you're Virginia Tech Free throws alone would have you in a lead for this game. So from that standpoint, you've done the necessary things in order to be successful as Sedarian Brains picks up another foul, and you have to start taking advantage of those opportunities.
Josh Hairston for Duke, who went out earlier with a cut, will not return. We're told he will not return. So Hairston is out for the afternoon. Finney-Smith with the dish. We're tied.
And that's what Dorian Finney-Smith does best. He's a facilitator, not just a guy who plays on the post or shoots jump shots, but at 6'7", he's a very good ball handler and passer.
We've got our 7th tie of the game. Virginia Tech leads. Robert Brown. Last lead was at 15-13. They're up by 2 here in the second half.
And this is the game plan for Virginia Tech. You and I talked with Coach Greenberg earlier. He does not want to give Duke transition opportunities, but understands the importance of his team getting out in transition.
Plumlee tied. Mason Plumlee, first team academic All-American this week. That announcement was big time news, both here and over at Carolina. This is a 2-ball. Long rebound, and Rivers will come down with it. Rivers right to the rack.
Great job by Austin Rivers adjusting the ball so the Robert Brown couldn't get a hand on it and still having the strength to finish it at the rim.
Rivers averages 15. He's got 11 this afternoon. Green's got to get in the ball game. Here he is.
And a great way for Eric Green to really get involved in it, attacking the basket. And you got 2 of the best in the league doing it. Austin Rivers getting to the rim, using his body well to get it on the glass. And on the other side, Eric Green with a nice crossover and finishing at the rim, tap on the head, and 1.
So he goes to the line. Eric Green, an 80% free throw shooter. He's hit 78 of his 97 free throws this year and misses that one. He's just struggling today.
It's contagious when he starts missing them. Eric Green, a very good free throw shooter and one of the most consistent free throw shooters in the ACC. When he starts missing them, it starts to get contagious.
He's the one player Mike Krzyzewski talked about today in the pregame. Here he is, though. He's got the takeaway and the slam dunk.
And Eric Green's energy has truly stepped up in the second half. Going into the locker room, he knew his team needed him to have success, and he's made a difference in the second half.
7 ties, 5 lead changes in the ball game. Tech by 2. Plumlee takes it back up, and he's fouled. Miles Plumlee will go to the line.
Eric Green doing a great job getting in the passing lanes and understanding as Ryan Kelly was following him, he was going to have to take him out of the air, attack the rim very strong.
Great job to cross over to his left. Barksdale was called for the personal. Plumlee just a 62% free throw shooter. He's the team's only senior.
He's really stepped up his production recently as well. You're talking about offensive rebounding.
Closed captioning for ACC basketball provided by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time.
That's one of the things that Coach Greenberg stated was the fact that how good a team Duke was at tapping the ball out, not necessarily getting an offensive rebound, but tapping it out to their shooters.
How'd you like to have the grocery bills in that family? Mason and Miles, not to mention Marshall. Plumlee family, big time athletes. Mom and dad both played the game. That's a tough shot, tough angle. But the putback.
C.J. Barksdale doing the tough stuff under the basket and positioning himself. He's not going to out-jump Miles Plumlee, but doing a great job using his body to find himself in the right position.
And Rivers is fouled. How about the body control of Austin Rivers?
And if you want to see the maturation of Austin Rivers, it's when you see him get to the basket, instead of picking up the charge, it's the sidestep to avoid the charge where Jarrell Eddy is setting up for him and still be able to get the shot on the rim and get fouled.
That's the first on Eddy, and Rivers converts. He's got 12 points.
And early in the season, Austin Rivers would have tried to jump over Jarrell Eddy and picked up a charge. And you see the way he's matured as this season has moved on. And Coach K talked about that and really how he's starting to get it over the last 3 weeks.
He's got 13 points now, scored 20 points Thursday night in Tallahassee. Big-time contributor now on his Blue Devil team. Brown tries to take it at the rack. That's a tough shot. Never had a chance.
Great defense by Ryan Kelly, just moving his feet and getting his arms up in the air, not bailing out Robert Brown with the foul.
Tyler Thornton directs traffic. Rivers looking for that 3 ball. Goes into the corner. Nice ball movement. Good hustle by Tech to get it back.
And after a big game in Tallahassee Thursday night, Andre Dawkins has yet to get on track from behind the three-point line. And it's part of the reason why Duke hasn't had much success is because they haven't knocked down the three.
It's a good point. We've been talking about Green. But, I mean, Dawkins had 22 points Thursday night. He's got zipped today. Green steps into the lane. He's fouled.
It's been Eric Green all second half here in Cameron Indoor.
Now it's time for the Direct Auto Insurance drive of the game.
When you start talking about getting directly from point A to B, Eric Green, one of the fastest in the ACC, getting end-to-end.
Direct Auto is helping drivers get affordable car insurance. Visit your local store or directgeneral.com. Starting saving today.
Andre Dawkins not knocking down shots, and I believe a lot of that has to do with the fact that legs. You talked about how hard fought the game was on Thursday night, the travel getting back home, and he just hasn't had much lift here shooting the jump shot. And he's not the only one. Seth Curry hasn't shot the ball very well from the perimeter. Duke as a team, 38% in the first half and just 3 of 11 early here in the second half.
Green, an 80% free throw shooter, missed his last one, but he makes this one. Shakes his head a little bit because it rattled around before it cleared bottom. He had 19 points in that tough loss to Virginia. And he gets the second one to go, but it's just not pure today.
It hasn't been, and nothing has been really in rhythm for Eric Green, but he has imposed his will in the second half, finding ways to put points on the board for his team, and they've done a great job defensively guarding Duke as well.
He's got 8 points now as Curry takes it in the lane, dribbled into trouble, looks at the 3 ball, splash.
And Seth Curry needed that. They needed him to be able to step up and make a big shot. That's what he's done for Duke all year, is make big shots when they needed them, and that was a huge one to tie this game up.
10th tie of the game. Here comes Duke looking for numbers, don't have it. Good transition defense by the Hokies.
And the Hokies have been great in transition defense all day. Very few opportunities to score in transition for Duke.
Curry right to the rack. He's got 13.
And that's where he's improved so much as a player, getting to the rim where he doesn't always have to rely on that three-point shot, especially when people play him to try to take him off the line.
Green from beyond the arc. He's working today. Boy, Green normally gets that open. He's going to bury it.
Tyler Thornton has bothered him all day, and Eric Green doing a much better job being aggressive in the second half. But Thornton's defense on him has been great.
His foul's going to be against Rankin. Good job by Curry to get position. He was going to drive again, and for Rankin, that's his 3rd. So it's a 1-on-1 situation now as we go into the bonus.
And when you look at Duke's roster, they have 4 guys shooting close to or over 40% from 3. But this afternoon, only Austin Rivers and Seth Curry have a make. And more importantly, when they're not making threes, especially Dawkins and Kelly, they congest the paint against guys like Rivers and Curry trying to get into the lane.
We talked about it in the open, that Virginia Tech was going to have to control defensively those guards, and so far they've done a nice job of it, especially with their three-point defense, which they're normally strong with.
Virginia Tech is a very good three-point defensive team, but Duke is the best in the ACC shooting the three, and that is going to really be the difference in what comes into play at the end of this game to decide it.
Something's got to give. Good pass by Green. Offensive foul called on Cedarian Raines.
And when you're Coach K, you really have to love the effort by Ryan Kelly. And we keep calling his name, stepping over, taking charges. And this simply being heads up, making sure you get your feet outside of the restricted arc and getting your body in position to take the hit.
Nine and a half minutes to play. And Rivers will go to the line. This foul is on Eric Green. That's his second.
And that shows you the explosiveness of Austin Rivers. But Eric Green, one of the better individual defenders in the ACC, and Austin Rivers still can get to his spots whenever he wants to. And that's the best part about his game, is when he does that and guys come in and try to congest the lane, he kicks it out. Otherwise, he's going to score.
Seth Greenberg may have worked harder this year than he ever has in his coaching career.
And that's the case when you have so many young players, and Coach Krzyzewski talked about that as well, because he's used to being able to pencil in a guy like Kyle Singer, like Nolan Smith, veteran guys who he knows what he's going to get from them. But with these young guys, he doesn't always know what he's going to get from them on a consistent basis.
And as we left that locker room, the last thing he said to us was, we're going to be pretty good next year.
Hey, they're pretty good now.
They are pretty good now, and they're in this game just 4 down. You don't want Rivers at the line, though. He is money, and here is the steal by Curry and the finish.
Seth Curry has stepped up and made some huge veteran plays for his Duke team, especially after they got down. He hit the three to get them back to the tie, and has really plays after plays to get them back into
It's a 9-0 run. It's a 9-0 Duke run, so let's revisit our AT&T Fast analysis.
And we talked about the backcourt between Duke and Virginia Tech, and right now advantage Duke 32 points to 21 points, and 7 out of this crucial 9-0 run have come from Seth Curry.
Virginia Tech has been scoreless since the 13:07 mark. We're down to just over 9 minutes to play. You go 4 minutes without scoring, it's going to hurt you at Cameron Indoor.
Especially against this team, and when they're making shots and they get this crowd involved in it, their energy level just starts to raise.
This is an incredibly important possession here for Virginia Tech. Shot clock is at 10. Eric Green, nice crossover. Still can't get it to go. And the whistle and the foul, and that'll be on Ryan Kelly.
And one of the other positives for Virginia Tech, they've done a great job attacking the offensive glass today and getting themselves opportunities at second chance points.
Boy, Green got a good look at it. He got that open running one-hander, and just he's struggling with his shot.
Well, he's having to do a lot of work to get to that point. And once he finally gets there, he's still going to have to shoot it over a 6'11" Ryan Kelly or a 7-foot Mason Plumlee.
Finney Smith makes his first free throw, 1 for 7. And he misses the second.
And right now, Dorian Finney-Smith is just thinking about those. He's too good of a shooter to shoot free throws this poorly, and he's really just allowed that to get into his mind and start thinking about the process. He just needs to let it go naturally and step up and knock down the free throw.
Because of that run, the Hokies are in the danger zone right now with 8:13 to play. Rivers, spin move, can't finish. Thornton gets it back. What a move by Rivers.
And that's the second time we've said that. A great move, but just not enough legs to finish it. And we have to really watch the fatigue factor of these Duke players going down to the end of this game. And also talking about fatigue, part of the reason why Eric Green may be struggling offensively is the fact that he's having to guard Austin Rivers on the other end of the floor, and that takes a lot of energy.
This time of the season, we were talking to Mike Krzyzewski, very conscious of when their day off is. He knows they got to keep their legs. Here's Green again. Yes.
Big shot by Eric Green, stepping up, and his team needed that. We talked about the drought they've been under, and if somebody's going to make a shot for you, it's got to be your best player. You got to be able to depend on him when you come into a hostile environment.
30 straight games now, double figures, the longest in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and this shot right here gives him 10 today to keep the streak alive.
And Eric Green got to his sweet spot, and you saw the 5 seconds left on the shot clock to switch. And as he gets Ryan Kelly in front of him, knowing that if he tries to go by him, there will be another Duke defender waiting on him.
Corey, we said this at halftime. Virginia Tech still has to feel good. 7.5 to play, 1 possession game.
Well, at 7.5 to play, and you've held Duke to 46 points, you've definitely got to feel great about your defensive effort. And if you look at the free throws, Virginia Tech would be, they would be up if they had made half their free throws, and they only 50%.
So the Blue Devils with a 3-point lead and the ball. Kelly tries to back in, feels he's got a mismatch, and he's fouled. Foul on Eddie. Will return after these messages from your local ACC station. You're watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. 108 markets strong in 36 different states. All watching this game here today. Duke leading 46-43 over Virginia Tech. Take a look at our Haviland defensive shield.
And Virginia Tech, one of the better three-point defensive teams in the country, ranked 9th nationally, and that was a strong suit of them early in the year. Had a couple lapses in the past couple games, but doing a great job this afternoon keeping Duke off that three-point line.
Ryan Kelly, an 80% free throw shooter, knocks that one down. He's got 4 points. Had a couple of mismatches down low. He's recognized them, took advantage of them. And he makes them both. So Kelly pushes the Duke lead back to 5. Under 7 minutes to play. Hudson back in the ball game with his 4 personals. They need him for this stretch run. Finney Smith into the paint. Raines with a strong power move gets the roll.
So Darian Raines done a very good job attacking in the paint, and he's done well when he's received opportunities to play down there against the Plumlee brothers, and Virginia Tech may need to look for him a little more often.
Curry. And this foul is going to be on Kelly, I believe. He looked like an octopus under there waiting for the rebound.
I'm not sure how you came up with octopus.
He had arms everywhere, wrapped around everything. That's 4 personals. Then gave that innocent look.
Well, you're supposed to. You got to sell it. That's when you look at the officials and say, who, me?
So Mike gets him down to the bench with 4 personals. It's a 1-possession game. Raines backs in, left hook. And we're going to stay at that end.
Well, Virginia Tech must have heard me when I said they may need to get Raines more opportunities, because it's so difficult for the perimeter players to play against the pressure defense on the perimeter by Duke. So from that standpoint, and Duke is going to guard all the big guys one-on-one. They're not going to help. So if Raines can get to a good shot, a comfortable spot, he can get a good look at the basket.
The foul was on Mason Plumlee. Lorenzo Hudson goes to the line. He's an 82% free throw shooter. And he gets that roll. You're not seeing these guys tickle the twine much today. Everything's bouncing around before it goes through.
Yeah, especially when you look at Green and Hudson, who are 2 of the better free throw shooters in the ACC. Just as you said, they haven't been confident looks.
That one looked better. It's a 1-point game with 6:05 to play. Again, a great first step. Shot is short. Get it to Green. Bang.
And that's a shot Eric Green missed in the first half, but you notice his focus has been completely different in the second half, and that has led Virginia Tech to get a 1-point lead in this game.
Green tickled the twine that time. That was pure. He's got 12 points. All in the second half.
Eric Green off to a great start here in the first half, early in this game, but as you notice, he was shooting the ball short. His energy wasn't correct. They were hounding him defensively, but he is truly getting to the rim, finishing, getting to the free throw line, and more importantly, getting in passing lanes and easy baskets, which allows you to build your confidence to step up and knock down big shots such as this.
Eric Green had a bad case of the offers in that first half. 0 for 8, no points. Here in the second half, a lot better.
And his team has been very resilient. They've stuck around, and now when you get under 6 minutes and you have a lead, you have an opportunity to win this game because there's not going to be a blowout at any point from here on out. This Virginia Tech team is going to fight this one to the end.
Cameron Crazies take it up a notch. Kelly. Yes.
You want to talk about big shots. Brian Kelly stepping up huge, beautifully designed play out of the timeout by Coach Krzyzewski, getting Brian Kelly a wide open look on the wing.
Sedarian Raines backs in and banks it in.
Raines can have success down there against Plumlee. He's athletically similar to Plumlee. He's got the strength to compete against him and get off a quality look. And when he does that, he helps his Virginia Tech team, especially the perimeter players.
Raines has 14 points. Boy, Kelly looked at another 3 ball. Back out to Thornton. Shot clock at 15. Long rebound. This is taken by Hudson.
And a long shot, a long three-pointer by Seth Curry, because Virginia Tech gave Duke no room at the line.
Raines with a follow. And Virginia Tech leads again.
Virginia Tech has been great on the offensive boards, and that's uncharacteristic of Duke because they're one of the better defensive rebounding teams.
Back and forth we go. How about the body control? It's hard to take a charge on him because he's so fluid in the air. ACC Digital Network gives fans access anytime, anywhere. Tonight, join host Kyle Montgomery and Georgia Tech star Drew Barry as they provide in-depth analysis on all of Saturday's ACC men's basketball action. Visit theaccdn.com for more.
And just as you mentioned, the body control of Austin Rivers, and really when Rivers attacked the basket, he wasn't as concerned about making a shot as he was getting fouled, and split 2 defenders in order to make sure that no one could get a body in front of him to pick up a charge.
Well, Jarrell Eddy picked up the personal foul. And so Rivers with 16 points tries to add to the tally. And Duke still trails by 1. Green turns it over.
And you see how hard it is for Eric Green to find space on the perimeter when he has Tyler Thornton guarding him. And of course, he's played a much better second half, but he has to work so hard to get opportunities.
Kelly from 3.
That's not something you see often, is Ryan Kelly to shoot an air ball wide open. But he's a confident guy. He will step up and take the next 3 as if that never happened.
Well, they say a good shooter's rarely off to the right or left when he misses. He's either short or long, and that one was long. Too strong. Hudson wanted the foul. None called.
And Dorenzo Hudson has a size advantage over Seth Curry, but a turnaround jump shot is not the way to go about that. He has to find a way to work himself to the basket the same way that Sedarian Raines has done in the second half.
Seth Curry, this is going to be an offensive foul called on Ryan Kelly. That's 5 on Kelly. Ryan Kelly called for the illegal screen, offensive foul. That's 5 personals. So when we come back, he'll be DQ'd. Ryan Kelly has just fouled out of this ball game. 8 points. He was a factor here in the second half, but on the other side,
well, a lot of the reason why Ryan Kelly's been in foul trouble is because of Sedarian Reigns. He's put a lot of pressure on the interior of Duke, using his body and the up and under to be able to score over their size as well as going around it.
fans were just cheering as the sign was up on the big screen. We want Carolina. They better get through here first.
Yeah, they've got their task full right now with Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech has hung around this long. They're going to have their say at the end of this game.
So now Duke has to be thinking about knuckling down and taking care of business if they want that #1 seed. Terrific job by Seth Greenberg and the Hokies this afternoon. Eddie picks up his dribble, looks into the corner. Finney Smith for three.
A great job by Miles Plumlee securing the rebound, his 13th rebound of the afternoon, and they've needed every one of them. But Duke has a slight edge in this game rebounding, but 11 offensive rebounds for Virginia Tech has truly been one of the main stories as to why they're in this game.
Rivers. 10th lead change.
No tired legs on that one. Big shot from Austin Rivers. He's been doing it all year for Duke. None bigger than that one. Well, I take that back. One bigger than that one.
Much bigger. Duke by 2.
As you see, Austin Rivers working for the basketball. At this point in the game, he knows that he has to step up for his teammates. And right there, too much space. He's able to walk right into that and knock it down.
Rivers with 19 points. He scored 20 Thursday night in Tallahassee. He is an explosive player. ACC fans, a reminder, hey, if you'd like to win a Myrtle Beach golf vacation every month for a year for you and a friend, plus a chance to play around with PGA Tour pro Dustin Johnson, just text GOLF to 88222 or go to golfholiday.com for your chance to win. And if you do win, you're looking for a friend, I'm ready.
I tell you what, they don't want to see me down there. Those greens are too pretty for me to tear up.
Approaching the 2-minute mark. Dangerous pass to Hudson, who's been playing with 4 personals and doing a nice job managing the game.
Timeout by Seth Greenberg. He did not like what he saw from his team offensively. And coming out of the timeout, he had a design play to get Lorenzo Hudson the basketball on the block versus Austin Rivers. But the double team from Duke quickly took that out of the way.
Well, Virginia Tech's only win in 18 games against Duke on the road was 5 years ago. So we take you back through the window of time. Jamon Gordon hit a shot down the stretch in overtime to give the Hokies a 68-67 lead. Right down the lane and splash. And Deron Washington then blocked a potential game-winning shot. This was sweet. Coming from the back, knocked it away at the buzzer for the upset win over the #5 Duke. January 6th, 2007. They've got a chance here with 2:08 remaining. It's 55-53 Duke. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Green, tough shot, yes!
Derek Green has gotten to that point many times in this game, but the first time he's really been able to convert, especially on a tough shot with defenders waiting for him in the lane, and they're going to need more.
Rivers for 3, draws iron. Lost out of bounds by Duke. Coaches wanted a foul called. Mike Krzyzewski's hot. A minute and a half to play. Hudson banks it in, and I'm not sure he meant to do that.
At this point in the game, you don't have to call it. As long as it goes in, you take it, especially a huge 3 for Lorenzo Hudson on the road.
Are we watching an upset on this ACC Saturday? 70 seconds left.
And if you're Duke right now, you don't have to panic. You don't have to have a three-pointer. You just have to get a quality shot, opportunity to score.
Final minute. Tyler Thornton. Plumlee gets the two with 48.2 seconds left, and Duke still trails by one.
And a great job by Mason Plumlee positioning himself as though he were the defensive rebounder, boxing out a Virginia Tech defender, getting the rebound. But Eric Green at the opposite end of the floor just going one-on-one against Tyler Thornton, who has made him work all afternoon, finishing in the paint. And Dorenzo Hudson, one of the best coming off screens in the ACC, using a friendly gets off the glass, to say the least, in hostile territory.
Never even thought about the bank. But he didn't have to, because it found the bottom. Virginia Tech with one timeout left, Duke with one timeout left. 48.2 seconds in the game.
And right now, if you're Duke, you have to get a stop. You can play it out and give them the 35 seconds of the shot clock, because Virginia Tech is going to try to use as much of it as they can, but you have to be able to secure a rebound with enough time to go and score, but you have to get the stop.
If you give up a bucket, it better be a two, which would still make it a one-possession game. Duke will get the ball back. But they didn't know they'd get it back that soon. The turnover.
The pressure from Tyler Thornton, and Eric Green just took an extra step, picking up his pivot foot. But the pressure of Tyler Thornton, 40 feet away from the basket, is what caused Eric Green into turnover.
Hokie fans in disbelief. Duke down one. 35 seconds left. And Rivers fouled by Green.
Austin Rivers continuing to put the pressure on the Virginia Tech defense, not settling for a three-pointer, but continuing to try to drive and picking up the foul from Eric Green.
Double bonus, so he's got 2 free throws coming. He's 7 of 9 at the line. And he misses the first. This is the part of the game that he's trying to improve upon. 65% from the line. And didn't even want to talk to his teammates. He says, I got it, I know. So he's got to knock this down for the tie. And he does.
And although they get the tie, the reason that first one was important is because now Virginia Tech will try to hold it for the last shot.
Shot clock is off. Be careful of the 5-second call. That's what Seth Greenberg yells out. Thornton all over him. Count starts over. Still has distance. Last 5 seconds. Here goes Green. This is for the win. Ball game is going overtime. Tied at 58. We will be back with overtime after this. Cameron Crazies are having some kind of fun this afternoon. We're going into overtime. And Virginia Tech had a chance.
They had opportunities. Eric Green gets a good shot up. And Cedarian Raines with a very acrobatic tip that could have ended this game, but instead we played 5 extra minutes.
Well, you talked about tired legs and the 36-hour turnaround by Duke after that tough game down in Tallahassee Thursday night. Then Josh Hairston got cut. He's out, will not return. So now you're depleted and tired.
And Ryan Kelly fouled out. So you have no Ryan Kelly. So the 2 Plumlee brothers are going to have to finish it out up front for Duke.
The Hokies have it first. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Here's Green again. 5 on the shot clock. Finney-Smith gets it, put back, still can't get it to go. Big rebound by Plumlee. Mason and Miles both in the ballgame, along with Curry, Rivers, and Thornton. Green all over Rivers. Miles Plumlee, jump hook. Yes.
And Miles Plumlee has stepped up his production, huge for the Blue Devils, especially lately down the stretch. And no play bigger than that one for him, getting a run at the rim. They're not going to respect him as a jump shooter, but a great job at penetrating and getting 2 points.
Only has 3 points. Looked like Clyde Lovellette with that big sweeping hook. Green. Knocked out of bounds by Virginia Tech. Duke will get it back.
Eric Green has lived in the pain against Duke, but just unable to finish. And at this point, we talked about how hard he's had to work to get his shots. Are his legs getting tired? Does he have that fatigue? Because he's not getting much lift once he gets into the lane.
This is Separation Saturday in the ACC, trying to keep that #1 seed, at least have the opportunity against Carolina in the final game next week. Don't forget, with more ACC action coming up immediately following this game. There's a foul, and Rivers will go to the line. Keep in mind, he just went 1 for 2 at the line at the end of regulation.
Austin Rivers does a great job getting his body into the defender in order to get to the free throw line. A lot of the times when he's going to the basket, of course, he always wants to score, but he knows that he's not going to get off a quality shot. So he's looking for the contact and an opportunity to get to the free throw line.
So Darian Raines picks up his 3rd personal foul. Rivers at the line is 8 of 11 there today. Duke beat Virginia Tech earlier this season, 75-60 in Blacksburg. Rivers misses the second. 3-point game. Jarrell Eddy pulls up for the jumper. Oh, that was halfway down and came back out.
And that was a man rebound by Mason Plumlee, too. He came from a long way to go get that one. It looked like an opportunity for Virginia Tech to be able to pick up an offensive rebound and get an easy 2 points. Mason Plumlee coming from nowhere to clean up the glass.
Still a 1-possession game with 2.5 to play. Duke trying to expand on that lead. Four on the shot clock. Curry's got to go. Oh, and they leave the lane wide open.
Tough drive by Seth Curry getting to the lane. He's matured so much, not settling for a 3, but getting it all the way to the rim, putting the pressure on Virginia Tech's defense.
His dad's happy. Looked like Dell on that drive.
They'll stay behind the 3-point line.
Hudson for 3. And that was a long 3.
Lorenzo Hudson is working on the big shot nickname. We may have to add that to their category right now. He's made huge shots all year for Virginia Tech, and that was a huge 3 to get them back in striking distance here in overtime.
2 big 3s here in the last 5 minutes. Under 2 minutes. Duke was on the ropes at the end of regulation. Had to come from behind to tie it. Now they've got the lead. Here's Rivers is fouled by Finney-Smith.
Austin Rivers does a great job creating the contact and trying to get to the free throw line. And for Austin Rivers has missed 2 out of his last 4 free throws. And some guys would shy away from the contact, but not Austin Rivers. He wants to get to that free throw line. He wants to be the guy that has to make the shot.
Well, if you're just joining us, look at this. 13 ties, 12 lead changes. Regulation back and forth the entire afternoon. Rivers having a nice afternoon. He's now got 22 points, and he was big down the stretch.
And he's got 22 points on tired legs. You can see the fatigue in Austin Rivers, but he's fighting through it. He and Seth Curry both have made plays throughout the fatigue.
Still a 1-possession game. This is for 3. Tied again.
Yeah, big shot. Big shot to Lorenzo Hudson. That's his name. He might have it as a first name now. He is knocking down huge shots.
They're saying he had a foot on the line, so it's just a 2. He purposely stepped back and didn't get it. Seth Greenberg is furious. Under a minute to play in the overtime. Boy, that could be big with a toe on the line. To Plumlee, and he's fouled from behind. I believe this foul will be on Jarrell Eddy. That's his 4th. Here's another look at Hudson.
And Lorenzo Hudson, of course, now he's feeling it, the step back to try to get back from the line. But Roger Ayers has a great look at it right on the sideline and sees right there the foot is on the line.
That is a good call.
Great job by Roger Ayers noticing it.
From the ball of his foot forward on the line. Plumlee's first free throws of the afternoon. He's 1 for 1.
And this is the one guy that Duke hasn't relied on to make free throws and stepping up and making a big one early.
Mason Plumlee only 48% of the line, but he knocks down that one at 65-63.
ACC basketball has been brought to you by AT&T, by Nissan, by BB&T, and by Food Lion.
Celebrity sightings here at Cameron Indoor today. Rob Lowe in the house. Del Curry here to watch his son. Great player. They're all out here today. As a matter of fact, we've got NBA dads with Chris Collins, his dad Doug, Austin Rivers and Doc, Seth and Del. 2-point game. 40. Hudson for 2. Too strong. Shot clock is off.
Great adjustment by Coach K, switching the screen, making Hudson have to shoot over a larger defender and Mason Plumlee.
20 seconds left. So the foul is on Jarrell Eddy. Now we're set to go. 19.4 seconds left.
We talked about all the fatigue and we talked about the minutes. Austin Rivers 40 minutes today. Seth Curry 39 minutes. Tyler Thornton 37 minutes. And coming off of a 36-hour turnaround after the Florida State game, traveling back home and getting here for this game, fatigue has come into effect. Austin Rivers, you have to go out and get these 2 free throws to make it a 2-possession game. You don't want to give Virginia Tech an opportunity to send this into a second overtime, especially the way Lorenzo Hudson's been shooting the basketball.
10 of 15 at the line today. 3-point game. Still 1 possession. This next one is critical. Still plenty of time for Virginia Tech, but they need a 3. Green takes it right at the rack. Misses the layup. It's been that kind of afternoon for that guy, Eric Green.
It has been, and that was the right play. It was a great decision by Eric Green to try to go get a quick 2-pointer, but not finishing it costs you, because if you come away with 2 points there, you call the timeout, make Duke have to see if they can get the ball and bounce out the turnover, and then you foul. Sending Duke to the free throw line has not been a problem, but right now with 2 opportunities, Miles Plumlee can make this a 2-possession game. And also with only 9.6 seconds left, I don't know if you get 2 possessions if you're Virginia Tech.
Seth Greenberg, though, doing a great job getting Eric Green's head back in the ball game. They will need a miracle now. Miles Plumlee buries the first. His dad, Perky, was a pretty good ball player. He's 6'7", and their mom played. Makes them both. He only has 5 points, but they were huge.
When they have a 5-point lead, that means he's been the difference.
Oh. Green takes it right at the rack this time and finishes with 2.9 seconds left. Tyler Thornton and he was leveled.
And that is not Tyler Thornton's fault. That's whoever was guarding Sedarian Reigns. It is their fault. So that one goes on Mason Plumlee, because you have to let your point guard know that screen is there. If I'm Tyler Thornton, once I clear the cobwebs and we get in the locker room, it's a serious talk.
I agree. Legal play. That is a legal play. Talk and let him know it's there.
Very clear on Sedarian Park. He for his teammate giving Eric Green room to run. No, screen coming, screen coming.
Danger zone there was that Tyler hit his head on the floor. That's where you really...
Well, when you're running as quick as Tyler's trying to stay in front of Eric Green and you don't know that screen is coming, he's hitting that full speed. So from that standpoint, and Sedarian Reigns is a big guy.
Once the adrenaline gets away and the game is over, he's going to feel it tomorrow.
We got to sit down and talk in the locker room after this one. While that adrenaline is still going and you feel like you might be able to jump on the big guy, you got to have your talk then.
Back to the game. It's 2.9 seconds left. It's a one-possession game, but Duke has the ball. So right now, it would take a miracle for Virginia Tech.
If you're Virginia Tech, one thing you have to do, you go for the turnover. See if you can get a turnover right now. Find a three-point shot while they have to take the ball out underneath their basket. If not, it's an immediate foul. And then, of course, you have to rely on Duke to miss both free throws and that desperation heave.
It's never good when you need a three and there's less than 3 seconds to play. So Mason Plumlee will bring it in. He can run the baseline. Knocked out of bounds. 1.8 seconds left.
And that was the right play by Lorenzo Hudson. Got a hand on it, and it was a questionable call. Roger Ayers didn't have a good look. Went over to see Ray Taylor to see. Did you see it? Did you have a good look to make sure the ball should be rewarded back to Duke?
Seth Greenberg also wants to look at the time. You know, the last 4 games have gone down to the final seconds for Virginia Tech. 2 weeks ago, it was Dorian Finney-Smith who was attacking the boards after this miss and got the tip and the putback for the 1-point win over BC. 4 days later, Florida State's Michael Snare. Stop, pop, bang, the three-pointer with 2.6 left for the 1-point Seminole victory. 2 days after that, Lorenzo Hudson. He hits a desperation three. Splash. 1-point win over Georgia Tech. Then earlier this week, the Hokies had a chance for a win against Virginia, but turned the ball over in the final seconds as the Cavaliers escaped with a 2-point win. It's been that kind of year for Seth Greenberg, and again here today in overtime. 1.8 seconds left. It's 68-65 Duke.
Same rules apply here. If you're Virginia Tech, you have to go after the steal. Be as aggressive as you possibly have to be to get the basketball. Now, if a foul occurs by you being aggressive, so be it. You're going to have to foul anyway. But you go after the basketball and see if you can find a way to get up a three-point shot in this last 1.8.
A great scene in Cameron Indoor. Tension all afternoon. Largest lead was 7. Rivers is fouled with 0.2 seconds left, and that should do it. And now Mike Krzyzewski can sit down and take a breath. And at the other side, another heartbreaking loss.
And we talk about Duke and their struggles at the free throw line, especially in overtime. But the one guy who hasn't been to the free throw line today is Seth Curry, who's made 16 consecutive free throws, and he's second in the ACC free throw shooting. So from that standpoint, at this point, it doesn't matter, but he's the guy you want to have the ball in the hands of when you're Duke.
You know, Virginia Tech has not gone to the line once in overtime.
Well, Virginia Tech has been shooting the ball from the perimeter. You think about Lorenzo Hudson knocking down three-pointers, but Duke attacked the basket. Austin Rivers getting to the line often.
Duke 8 for 12 at the line in overtime, and that'll do it. Duke 70, Virginia Tech 65. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this. Austin Rivers led Duke with 23. You've been watching exclusive coverage of ACC basketball on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.